Now I'd like to introduce you to the Xander Beltz family.
Hi, Penn State! I'm Dava.
I'm Xander.
I'm Dave.
I'm Jaquela.
I'm Ann Brandy.
I'm Grandma Val.
How y'all doing? This is the largest standing ovation I have ever seen. All right. This is our 6th THON. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to ask you, why are we here? How are we redefining possibilities together? After all, we're just a family who's been affected by pediatric cancer, and you're just a Big Ten school. Neither one of us is alone in our respective categories, so how and why are we different? I want you all to do me a favor and imagine a busy emergency room. Picture the hustle and bustle of the staff, the patients waiting to be treated, and the ambulances, one after the other, in and out all evening with new patients requiring critical care. You've been sitting here for 4 hours, and you're waiting on test results. All you can hear in the background is screaming toddlers, angry parents, mumbled voices, curtains sliding back and forth, and machines beeping. All of this stimulation is gnawing on your last remaining nerve strand. Finally, the doctor returns to tell you what's brought you here in the first place, but those words you hear are not what you expect. Your son has leukemia. You instantly feel your heart being ripped out of your chest, and a maddening silence follows as the world around you stops. Do you hear that? Did you feel that? That's exactly where our story begins. It started 5 years, 3 months, and 22 days ago. The date was November 1st, 2008. It was a Saturday night, and our 18-month-old son, Xander, was just given a death sentence. From that ER you just imagined, our family was whisked away to Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital that same night under the care of his new oncologist, Dr. John Neely. Now at this point, Dave and I knew only one thing. Our baby had cancer. The next 72 hours were a blur of confusion as we received visits from nurse after nurse, doctor after doctor, and Xander underwent test after test and had procedure after procedure done. I signed consent form after consent form until I had writer's cramp. The list was endless. I was overwhelmed already, and I still didn't know what kind of leukemia my baby had. I was getting antsy. I hadn't had a shower in 3 days. I was smelly, hungry, emotional, and utterly exhausted. When we finally learned what type of cancer Xander had, we were devastated to hear that he only had a 50% chance of surviving. AML is rare in children, and the death rate is typically much higher than the success rate. We braced ourselves for the induction phase of his treatment protocol, which would last roughly 6 solid months. Now, during these 3 days, I had met more people and had more information thrown at me than I had the previous year. I was on the edge of a breakdown. Dave and I hadn't stepped foot off the hospital campus since we'd arrived, and we'd just learned Xander was going to spend his 2nd birthday in the hospital, on chemo. As the impact of a terminal diagnosis sank into my brain, my wounded soul slinked away to process and digest the possibility of losing another child. The year before, Dave and I grieved a baby girl we never got to meet due to a miscarriage. I struggled with thoughts like, am I undeserving of another child? Why is this happening to me? Why is my sweet son being punished? Now I was torn between my 2 children, my baby boy with cancer and a perfectly healthy 8-year-old daughter. Jaquela didn't deserve to have her world torn apart. So I sent her to live with my parents, who stepped up to be mommy and daddy while Dave and I stayed with Xander. Was it fair to her? Was it fair to my parents? No. Do I have regrets? Absolutely. But I can't change it. During this time, I learned a lot about myself, my character, and my strength. Strength I didn't know I had until I needed it. Dave and I did some soul searching, and we found some answers, some within ourselves, and some by interacting with very kind strangers. For example, when Dave and I finally decided to trust the nurses for a little bit, we left the hospital for a bite to eat. While at the restaurant bar eating our shared appetizer, the bartender listened to our sad story. He comped our bill, and we later found out that he refused to take our $20 tip. He donated it to a canner. Or another time when we were stocking up on hand sanitizers, an anonymous stranger left a $25 gift card at the counter with the instructions that it was for the couple in the back of the store with the parent badges on. I was so touched by these blessings, my faith in humanity was slowly being restored as we received one random act of kindness after another. Dave and I made a decision right then that it was time to just get back to our faith. We resigned our son's fate to God. Between God, the doctors, and Xander's sheer will to live, I finally started to feel some peace. Then, back at the hospital, we were given a miracle. Greg showed up. Greg was like a Christmas gift delivered a month early. He told us about upcoming parent events where we had the opportunity to bond with other families just like us. We were educated about programs like Super Sibs for our daughter, the Ronald McDonald House where we could stay right across the street from our son for free. And it was at that time that we learned about the Four Diamonds Fund and THON. Each was a gift to us, unique in its core values, but all have the same driving force, to serve others. And so our real journey began. We've had bumps and bruises along the way, but each scar serves as a reminder of our past struggles as we continue on in life. Dave and I have decided to live an adventure, and we're teaching our children the exact same thing by starting each day with a purpose. For the past 6 years, we've chosen to embrace each THON theme and carry it out for the duration of the year. 2009 was our first. Dave, Jaquela, and I attended without Xander because he was back at the hospital kicking cancer's butt. He was with his grandmas, dreaming forward. In 2010, we brought Xander with us, only 2 years old, and showed him that love belongs here. And the minute we walk into this building each year, we feel your love. People rarely remember what you say or do, but they will never forget how you make them feel. I said to Dave the very first time I walked through those doors, and I still say it to this day, THON is not an event. This is a love-inspired, love-shared, feel-good experience, and it is epic! As we adventured on into 2011, together without limits, I reminded my kids that the only limits they have are the ones they set for themselves. Get rid of the blinders, focus on others, and live together with people who think ahead. 2012 was a perfect theme as we continued on our brightened journey. Remember, when you can't bless back, bless forward. Last year, we inspired tomorrow's miracles and pushed on to this year's redefine the possibilities. Last year, Xander was here as a miracle of tomorrow. This year, he stands up here as a symbol of your forward progress, because in 57 days, Xander officially earns his superhero cape as he will be 5 years off treatment at the age of 7. Now that's how you redefine the possibility! Okay. Since the end of Xander's treatment, he's experienced preschool, kindergarten, his first season of Little League, volunteer opportunities at the Ronald McDonald House and our local food bank, and is currently in the 1st grade. His story is a success story and one I hope inspires you and reminds you to never give up. What you dance for year after year is making a difference, and every effort is worth it. I guarantee you everything you will feel by the end of this weekend, the exhaustion, pain, raw emotion, it's all worth it. Sir Millard started this fund with nothing but love for others in his heart. You continue to pave the way for the fund so it can do its job of putting families like ours back together. This fund thrives because of you. And every family who has benefited from the fund cannot express enough gratitude to you all or to Sir Millard for his selfless act of generosity. A perfect demonstration of blessing forward. You all have made his dream come true, and that right there, my friends, is why we're here and how we're different. Thank you, Penn State.